It's just the scale of the devastation that's going on. You know, the fact that we're losing, these animals are going to go into extinction. And it just baffles me that the powers to be don't go, right, this has got to be looked after and stopped.
499 rhinos poached, 51 more than the previous year.
The big five are traditionally the big game hunted animals. Elephant, rhino, buffalo, lion, leopard. They're known as the big five. They are animals that are persecuted for trophies. You've got the professional poaching gangs who are targeting tusk and horn.
Illegal wildlife trade is a big business, worth up to £17 billion a year.
The poachers are a problem, but they're not the real problem. It's the people demanding, and that middle chunk there who are covering it up, because it's all corruption. There's a lot of money involved.
In the last 50 years, black rhino numbers have dropped from 70,000 to 5,500.
I'll point the finger. It's governments, it's people in very high powers, it's people with a lot of money.
Take a rhino horn. It's more expensive than cocaine, heroin or gold at up to £50,000 a kilo. The country's elephant population has halved from 4,000 in the 1980s to 2,000 in 2015.
They just have, you know, elephant tusk just to show their wealth, or they're cutting off animals' eyelashes because it's an aphrodisiac. It's just craziness. And it's been going on for so long. And I've been involved in it a long time, not as long as he has. And it just seems to, we never seem to get it off the ground with it. You know, you put so much effort and time into it, and you go out there and you're training the right people and trying to do the right thing. Then it gets, and then you just get stopped, or dies out, or pushed backwards.
But this is constantly what you're up against. You don't know who you can trust, who's giving information. The people closest to you, when you're doing this training, you're empowering people to go out, you're giving them all that knowledge, and at some stage that's going to be used against you. That was one of the problems with the Javan rhino. They started putting camera traps out so they could monitor what was going on. People had to go in to recover the SIM cards and redo the batteries. So all this knowledge came out of these rhinos and where they were. And almost inevitably, somebody on the inside was giving that information to the people in his own village. And then these poacher teams sprang up. They came in, and there was this mass sort of slaughter over a period of a couple of years.
We had an helicopter, they had a better helicopter, they had better night vision, and they weren't afraid to be seen. They were happy to firstly go and kill the anti-poaching teams first and then do it. That's the level it's got to. Funds are being given to the enemy.
Yeah.
They're being funded well and given better equipment, night vision kit, you know, better weapons. You can hear it. Animals are going to, and I don't think a lot of people go, can you really imagine, you know, the world without any lions or elephants? Because somebody wants to rip its tusks out. You know, it's heart-wrenching, it's sickening. I just feel, you know, something's got to be done.
I keep talking about retiring, you know, but the very fact that I've built up the skills necessary in order to go out and do something useful, how can I not do that? And I'm at a time now, and the other guys that I work with, where we're all into our 60s, mid-60s, and we're thinking, we now need to start finding the next, you know, younger generation to take over, but we need people with the same mindset, because we've got such a lot of experience and skills to hand over. The thought of retiring and then leaving a blank sort of, you know, a vacuum, really bugs me. So it's not just getting out on the ground and doing what I do, handing over that, you know, that experience to rangers or people involved in conservation. We've got to get the next bunch of people in to do that.
How many like active situations have you guys seen, like with poachers, and like does that happen frequently?
Yeah, I mean, on every sort of deployment I've been on, we've been close to, or, you know, either the team have been shot at or we've been shot at. or we've had this confrontation on every single one we've been on. The helicopter team went into a situation, I think 3 of the poachers were killed. That was just like weeks before I went out there. You know, so it's very active, and it's there, it's happening. But I mean, yeah, we've witnessed and been part of a lot of that stuff. The first project was in the Rift Valley in Kenya, and it was a couple of guys or a gang out with certain weapons, patrolling, getting to a point, sneaking around, and then killing the elephant or whatever it was. That's what it was. By the time after Tanzania, and then when I went to the Gambia, the enemy, if you like, the poachers, had helicopters, they had machine. It was terrorism. So you can imagine where that's being funded from. You know, these were all ex-Sudanese military. So they were using military tactics. They were putting out booby traps. They were locating the observation areas and posts that the anti-poaching teams are operating from, our team, and just deliberately attacking that first, like a military operation.
I went into that same park after Billy had been there and trained a lot of their guys. We ran about 4 or 5 tracking courses there. They came across teams of armed poachers, having killed a buffalo, followed up the tracks, caught them with a buffalo, firefight. I think they recovered a couple of weapons. But the level of danger for those rangers going out, they're not just facing two poachers from the village, they're big armed groups there.
There is a lot of money. When you listen to what's happening with USAID and all, you read all these figures, and I think, I've never seen that amount of money being used wisely, and I haven't. And you've got all these pockets, these little groups of like us, all out there, off our own back, raising the money to get out there. Now and again, some kind person will throw a bit of money into it. But it just, I don't understand why. It feels like somebody somewhere, that's how good this chain is keeping them all divided.
Yeah.
Because if they come together, that's a strength and a number that could probably make a big difference. And that's, you know, for me, what I'd like to see before I bow out is somebody pulling that all together and going at it properly with the funding, because there is funding out there, or has been. Where's it gone? We're all not pointing the finger. The money's been squandered and wasted, particularly the UN, I'm happy to say it. And we go to meetings at their big offices and I'd sit there and, you know, I've got this person telling me how they're doing such a great job, and they sat there and me being who I am, I'm looking, that sofa you sat on, how much does that cost? Oh yeah, this is a $15,000 sofa. Well, why don't you sit on a $200 sofa and put 14.5 into the, you know, and that's me, that's how I think. It's just the whole thing, the whole conservation issues, you know, there's the illegal logging, the damage to all the land, animal trafficking, nobody even talks about it. I was on a project, and I want to get back into it, where people are demanding, I want, because they're wealthy and they live like however they want, I want 2 baby gorillas. And this is the actual case I was working on. Okay, how much? I can get you 2 baby gorillas. So somebody's now being paid a lot of money from Dubai to somebody in Africa to go out, kill a mother gorilla, for no other reason than steal its babies, ship the baby gorillas in suitcases. Imagine that into a sort of safe area midway between Africa and Dubai, while these people, because they've got so much money, they want some, and they don't really want them anyway. You know, they'll probably have them killed after about a year, and there's all that going on. And you know, when people, you hear the animals becoming, not just the fact that the way they're being killed for their eyelashes, the fat of their body, their tails, or their tusks. The thing that sticks in my mind as I'm talking to you right now, finding the elephant that had been poached that night, and the poor thing had been shot, immobilized, and while it's still panicking and in pain, somebody's chainsawed the front of its face off while it's kicking and screaming. You know, you imagine that. Somebody stood on top of a big beast that can't fight back, crying and screaming, and cutting straight through its head, through its eyes, through its nose, just to rip its tusk out. I mean, that's the image, that's what's happening, really going on. And the last job I was out in the Congo, we captured these poachers, and what we thought there was after the rhinos were actually all gone. And there was bags of lion fat. The lion had just been killed, skinned, left at the side of the road, dragged out all this. And we're like, to this day, I don't even know why, but none of the people there knew why. That's the realities of this, you know, what we're trying to stop. And it's It's just barbaric. And it's, you know, trying to get people to support it who've got the power, who've got the money, to get it past the real level. It's that bit there that use all the people below it as just sacrificial lambs. Go out and then do it. And they get what they want. But why? And why can't we get to a point where people will listen to this? Well, you know what? Let's get together. Let's get the right people, the justice system that is really required, the money, the people, the teams that can go and deal with this, because it can be done. We've been doing this really 50 years of our life, and we're still back at this point. And luckily, we've still got the energies, which is what we started. We've still got the energies to want to do this and go forward. Because if we don't do it now, the younger generation, unfortunately, is going to go, oh yeah, we've heard about that.